$899.30 per ton. New crop November gains $13.30 at $757. There are strong gains in the Chicago soy complex, while European rapeseed is mixed, and there are slight losses in Malaysian palm oil. The prairies will get another strong dose of heat on Friday, putting more stress on crops. However, rain is in the forecast by the second half of next week. After Thursday's drop, the Canadian dollar is bouncing back this morning. The loonie is at 82.71 US cents, which compares to Thursday's close of 82.62. The Canadian Grain Commission reports producer deliveries of canola are nearly 297,000 tons, up almost 24% for the week ending May 30th. Canola exports jump 136% at about 157,000 tons, and domestic usage rises almost 29% at just over 223,000 tons. The United States Department of Agriculture reports export sales of old crop wheat incurred a net reduction of 33,000 tons for the week ending May 27th. New crop sales exceed 398,000 tons. The USDA reports export sales of old crop corn are just over 531,000 tons, and new crop sales are more than 439,000 tons. The USDA says old crop soybean export sales are only 17,800 tons. New crop sales tally 180,000 tons. Old crop soy meal sales are 218,000 tons, while new crop sales are only 500 tons. Soy oil export sales amount to 1,000 tons. Rounding off prices at the Chicago Board of Trade, soybean futures are stronger on Friday. The July soybean contract vaults 30.5 cents at $15.80 per bushel. July soy oil rises 1.8 cents at 70.65 US cents per pound. July soy meal is up $2.60 at $3.9420 per hundredweight. Corn futures are stronger as well on Friday morning, with the July contract gaining 15.5 cents at $6.75.5 per bushel. Chicago oats are slightly lower, with the July contract dipping a quarter cent at $3.80. Wheat futures are higher on Friday morning, with Chicago July up 9 cents at $6.85. Kansas City July gains 12 cents at $6.36, and Minneapolis July bounces 14.5 cents at $7.92. That's a look at the ICE futures and the Chicago markets for Friday morning, June 4th. For Markets Farm in Winnipeg, I'm Glenn Halleck.
Spring is here, and so are the savings during New Holland's Spring Drive Sales event going on now at Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John. It's a great time to get the New Holland equipment you need for a new season and work more productively than ever. Limited time 0% financing and cashback offers are available now on select New Holland tractors and hay and forage equipment. Stop by Butler Farm Equipment in Fort St. John today, because just like spring, Spring Drive savings won't last long.
The opinions expressed during this show do not represent those of this station. If you've missed any of this show, you can follow the podcast at energeticcity.ca. Now, an in-depth look at the news and information shaping our community. This is Moose Talks with your host, Doug Craig, on Moose FM.
Welcome to the show. A little later on, we'll be chatting about Pride with Lyle Goldie of the North Peace Pride Society. They've hosted a couple events already this week, and they're hosting a car parade tomorrow afternoon, so we'll hear more about that, and of course why Pride is important now. More than ever, really. But first, the mayor proclaimed June as Filipino Heritage Month in Fort St. John. So, to talk a bit about what that means and what celebrations we can expect, we're joined now by Ovvian Castrillo-Hill of the North Peace Filipino Canadian Association. Ovvian, thank you so much for being on the show today. I appreciate it.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me, Doug.
You're very welcome. Well, as I said, the mayor has proclaimed June to be Filipino Heritage Month here in Fort St. John. What does a proclamation like that from sort of a municipal institution mean to the Filipino Canadian community here in Fort St. John?
Well, it's a very important and meaningful situation that we have that has been proclaimed. Actually, even in as early as 2016, even PhilCan did also apply to have June declared as Filipino Heritage Month, even if it had not been declared in Ottawa yet. But it was in 2018 that nationwide it's been proclaimed as Filipino Heritage Month all over Canada. So various Filipino groups have done their part in celebrating this in their own communities. Here in Fort St. John, NP PhilCan, what we've been doing since 2019 is we've been hosting and curating an art show called Exitu. But unfortunately, last year we weren't able to do it in a June because of COVID, and this year we weren't able to be booked for June. And the space that we wanted, mostly also because of COVID, everything's been pushed back. But the good news is for the next 2 years from here on, next year and the year after, we've been assured that we will have this space in June. So watch out for that. In the next couple of years, we'll be having Exitu once again to celebrate Filipino Heritage Month.
Excellent. We'll talk more about Exitu in just a few minutes here. I want to talk a bit about the history of the Filipino Canadians here in the piece. So we were talking kind of before the show. There have been Filipino Canadians in the piece since the 60s, I think you said.
Right, because a lot of the Filipinos, not just in Fort St. John, but all across Canada, they've come in trickles, like as individuals, for instance, teachers, nurses, and then later on, the demographics have changed. The immigrants have come for different reasons and through different programs. After that, then there was perhaps in the 90s, groups of caregivers who came to Canada and did those jobs. And then after that, there was another program for temporary foreign workers. So a different demographic, once again, and different kinds of professionals have come into Fort St. John because of those jobs that have opened up for them, and those are their pathways to become immigrants. So most of them. Most of the members of NP PhilCan are part of that diaspora, I guess, of Filipinos coming to Canada, and many are citizens now. And as Filipino Canadian citizens, this now becomes a very kind of unique culture that is kind of, I suppose, neither here nor there, but we find solace in knowing each other and finding each other and being able to celebrate our culture uniquely as Filipino Canadians. And I think the story resonates across Canada for all Filipino Canadians who've been in the country long enough. Like that whole notion that you're kind of neither here nor there, but you want to celebrate the uniqueness of the kind of amalgamated culture that you now have and live and pass on to your children. Yeah.
Again, before the show, we were sort of chatting about this. You talked about families being here now because, again, when it started, it was just individuals coming. Now we're getting into second generation and maybe in some cases even third generation Filipino Canadians in the piece. Do you think that's changed sort of maybe even how PhilCan operates and what you're about here in the piece? Because I think you said you've been around for about almost 20 years now. Is that correct?
Yeah, PhilCan has been around since 2007, even before I came to Canada. But yeah, you're right. Right now we have second and third generation members in the community. And that's why PhilCan has adapted to this new demographic, because I think what the second and third generation Filipino Canadians in town now need is more of a sense of identity, and having a clearer picture of this combined culture. So and also maybe acceptance and more assimilation, that like to be accepted as Canadians, and to be able to have the opportunities to assimilate and just be recognized across the board as Canadians. So in a town like ours, that's what we're trying to do at PhilCan. We're trying to be seen, through helping and through contributing to the city, not just recognition, like for instance with the art show, like as you mentioned before, it's our way of showing our stories as Filipino Canadians. But when we do have a show at the Cultural Center, it's our opportunity for other people to get to know us and for us to have that communication with them. So if they ask us about, say, what it is we do or how we come up with the work or the ideas for the work, then it's an opportunity for us to tell our stories and thereby be accepted. But it's also a way for the second and third generation Filipinos to know that there are other avenues, because when most Filipinos, when they come to a place like Fort St. John, it's all about service. And I think sometimes the tendency is to put us kind of like in a mold that this is what Filipinos do. So it's also our way of telling the children, our children and our grandchildren, that, oh, you can also do art, you can do humanities. You're not limited to the kind of work that your parents undertook coming into Canada, and that these opportunities are open to you. So yeah, we're trying to program now in a different way. It's about identity, and it's a lot about giving back. And that's also the reason why we're for this month. And I know I mentioned it to you that we are sponsoring the swims at the pool. It's actually a conscious effort for us to, because this is not an exclusive Filipino event. It's open to the whole community, and we're sponsoring the swims precisely for that reason, because we'd like to give back. We'd like to show the Fort St. John that we are here and we care, and this is where we live, and this is our home.
Yeah, and it's Filipino Canadians make up a pretty significant portion of the population of Fort St. John in the North East now. I believe you said about 1,000 people, or about 5% now. It's kind of ballooned.
I believe so.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. All right, well, I want to talk about XC2 a little bit. I believe I had you, if it wasn't on this show, it was on my morning show last fall to talk about kind of the bumped back COVID scheduling version of XC2. Tell us a bit about that, first of all. What kind of, you touched on this earlier, what's kind of the goal of that, and what kind of happens with that art exhibit?
Well, Exit to, the title of it is actually, it's a term from conservation, meaning like surviving or living out of your natural habitat, which is kind of like the story of most immigrants, but specifically for the Filipino community. Now that that we've been having the show, it's a celebration or just a declaration of the life that we're living here in Fort St. John and in Canada. It's very different from where we've come from, but the art that we produce, of course, because we live here, is inevitably affected or inspired by Canada, because and our lives in Canada. So that's what the show is all about. And like I said, it's giving opportunities for Filipinos across the board who might be, doing, good work as healthcare workers, for instance, or in the food industry, but they might not have the opportunity to show other facets of their work. And even children have participated in the shows, which we're very happy about, because, we'd like to open the minds of the kids for the opportunity, the chance to have a show in a proper gallery. I mean, it is a big deal for a young creative. So we're very glad to have these kinds of chances for the Filipinos in town, and we didn't have that before 2019. So we definitely count that as a benchmark of progress for us.
Okay, and it says, do you have the set date yet? I believe in October, I heard, is when it's going to be.
Yeah, it's penciled for October, but we don't have a specific date yet. Okay. So watch out for that, and hopefully we'll have a chance to talk about it in October again, Dub. So that would be great.
Absolutely.
If we could do that.
We'll definitely do that. All right, let's mention the swim again. That's coming up later this month, and I believe the day happens to coincide with a very important day for Filipino Canadians.
Correct. Yeah, June 12th is Philippine Independence Day, and that's why that's the date that we chose. It's a Saturday, and NP Philcan is sponsoring the family swims in the pool. So I'm told that registration is necessary and that the slots are filled up pretty quickly. So they're going to be opening registration on Monday. That's June 7. So if you want to go for the free swims on June 12, please register early and sign up and secure your slots, and bring your families and have fun. And remember that it's Philippine Independence Day, and that's all we want you to think about. And this is our way of celebrating Filipino Heritage Month with the city of Fort St. John.
All right, Ovvian. Well, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us about this today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deb, and see you again soon.
Absolutely. That's Ovvian Castrillo-Hill with the North Peace Filipino-Canadian Association. We'll be right back to talk about Pride with Lyle Goldie at the North Peace Pride Society right after this on Moose Talks. If you're looking to get your hands a little dirty, We Care Restoration is currently hiring. They're looking to add full-time laborers and tradespeople to their team with experience in painting, carpentry, and drywall. You must be able to pass a criminal record check, drug and alcohol testing, and provide a driver's abstract. To apply, email your resume to info@wecarerestoration.com or drop it off at the We Care Restoration office on 101st Avenue, just down from the P&G office in Fort St. John. Get the equipment and trucks you need at Ritchie Brothers' next Grand Prairie auction, June 9th to the 11th. This will be an online-only auction, but on-site inspection is available. Bid on close to 2,000 items, including dozers, excavators, motor graders, and a wide selection of forestry and farm equipment, plus RVs, boats, ATVs, and much more. Don't miss Ritchie Brothers' Grand Prairie auction, June 9th to 11th. Register for free and bid online. For details, visit rbauction.com.
When it comes to iPhones, most people think you can't replace a battery, but Micro Consulting can. If you need a new battery, see the crew at Micro Consulting because battery life is important. It's how you stay connected, take care of business, and keep in touch with the ladies. See, they just don't stop calling. Hello there. Oh, hi Mom. Also, remember to update your contacts.
For new batteries, screen replacements, parts and more, see Micro Consulting Sales and Service, keeping you connected on 100th Street and on Facebook.
Your vehicle has worked really hard for you. From helping you take the kids to school to you showing it off to your friends. It definitely deserves a break with Moose FM's dirtiest vehicle, fueled by Murray GM. Enter now at moosefm.ca and you could win a free detailing package from Murray GM in Fort St. John. We will pick a new winner at the end of each month. Moose FM's dirtiest vehicle is fueled by Murray GM.
The amount of household items that can be recycled at FSJ Return It might surprise you. Chances are you have a lot of things around the house that can be recycled that you didn't even know was recyclable. FSJ Return It accepts beverage containers, household paints and chemicals, computer printers, gaming machines, cell phones, small appliances, power tools, and so much more. Please call ahead if you have a large order. For the full list of items, visit return-it.ca. FSJ Return It, open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. on 93rd Avenue.
Watch this show live on Facebook or download the podcast at energeticcity.ca.
Welcome back to Moose Talks. I'm Dub Craig. Well, it is Pride Week here in Fort St. John, and a few events have already happened, but the kind of big one is coming up tomorrow with the car parade. So to talk about that and all things Pride, we're joined now by Lyle Goldie from the North Peace Pride Society. Lyle, welcome to Moose Talks.
Good morning, Deb. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for making some time to chat with us a bit today, as I imagine you've been very busy this week. I wanted to start with the event that happened last night. You guys hosted a chat with Marnie Panis, a bit about inclusivity and pride and whatnot. How did that event go?
It was very well attended, and I think even Marnie herself said she had a very good time presenting her story in simple ways that anyone could be an ally, can be a little bit more diverse and inclusive in the language that they use in their workplaces, at home, and even in the greater community.
That's wonderful.
It was a great event.
Were you expecting it to be as well attended as you saw it, or?
I personally, because I have seen Marnie's talk before, a presentation that she did for a corporate event. So I was really hoping that it would be well attended, which it was, and I was very excited that a lot of great discussion came out of that talk with Marnie herself. I was really happy with the enthusiasm and the turnout.
It's wonderful to hear. Now we're going to talk about the car parade a little bit later on, and some of the other events that have happened and why they happened this way this year. But I have to ask this because it does come up every year around Pride. I don't know if you can speak for the North Pride, the North Peace Pride Society in general, or if it's just you personally, but the commercialization of Pride. How concerned are you about that?
So when it comes to companies, usually always around this time, you'll see the rainbow logos everywhere, right? One, there's two sides to that equation. One, it is great to see that these companies are showing their support in a very public way. On the flip side, there is that marketing. If you splash a rainbow on it, people will buy it. I'm not going to lie, I am one of those people that will buy something with a rainbow on it. But for the most part, the more you see it, the more it becomes normalized that we can celebrate our diversity and inclusion and promote that, I think is a good thing. Yes, there are capitalism intentions with that, but for the most part, I like to take away the positive aspects of diversity and inclusion promotion at a corporate level, at a community level. It is just great to see.
Absolutely. One other question before we focus on the positive aspects too. I think you gave an interview with Energetic City earlier this week, and you were asked a bit about the flag going up and how it seemed to cause a bit of a stir online, which to me wasn't overly surprising that there were some negative comments about it. But I think you said you found it a little bit surprising. Can you tell us why?
So I've to talk about that. It's surprising that this year has received some of those negative comments because it's been the 6th year that Fort St. John has put up the Pride flag. And for some reason this year, whether it's pandemic fatigue or not, it seemed to rub a few people the wrong way. However, I was greatly touched by the overwhelming support that we received from the greater community of Fort St. John. And that most people, the majority of people, did not appreciate those ignorant comments.
All right.
We are very fortunate to have the support that we have in Fort St. John. The city has been incredible, and I kind of chuckled to myself when we're receiving a little bit of backlash about the flag, because lo and behold, the city was putting up our rainbow banners all over the Pomeroy, and the lights, the urban systems was going to be on rainbow lights at night in the parks. So I thought if one rainbow was going to bother some people, well, just wait, because the rest of the week is going to be filled with rainbows.
Fair enough. We'll talk more about positive things now, just so you know, Lyle. All right. Well, this is, I believe, the first year where you've kind of had to split up events, and maybe it was out of necessity, and I want to talk a bit about that. So you had the swim at the pool on Wednesday night, I believe. You had kind of the talk with Marnie last night, and then the car parade, which we'll talk more about in a minute, that's happening tomorrow. Was that out of necessity that you kind of split things up? Because normally, and I'm going back a couple years now, you kind of have the walk, and then it ends kind of with a bit of a party and a gathering in the park. So was it out of necessity that you split it up because we can't really gather so well right now?
For us, the car parade was a necessity. Originally, when I lined up the presentation with Marnie, it was something to add to Pride Week, that people can attend and still be COVID safe. The swim and skate put on by the city was a pleasant surprise. And we were so happy that they asked for us to be a part of it. And I hear, there was a lot of kids that came out, which is incredible. It just goes back to my previous comment about how supportive the city is. This year is I think, the first year that we had multiple events throughout the week. And perhaps I would love to see events every night of the week, right? During Pride Week. I think we can definitely incorporate a lot more.
So that's definitely in the plans kind of for future years when maybe we're living a more normal life, to still have the walk and the party, but also to kind of spread things out all week, eh?
Exactly. So
wonderful. All right, well, let's end on the car parade that's happening tomorrow. Tell us a bit about what's happening, how we can get involved, what we can do.
To get involved, come on in with your car. We'll be at the Pomeroy about 1 p.m. Selling merchandise. I hear that some members, if not all the members of City Council, will be out handing some water bottles in front of the Pomeroy Center. We'll be there. We'll be selling some flags and merchandise and T-shirts and yeah, I would. What I will be doing is finding a parking spot and putting some flags on my Jeep and making sure that they are secured. Right, we'll be abiding by all traffic laws, and yeah, this is just a nice COVID-friendly way to celebrate Pride, to celebrate the diverse and inclusive community that Fort St. John is. I find that people don't see Fort St. John as this incredibly inclusive, diverse community, and I really want to celebrate all the various identities and community members that are out there. So
wonderful, Lyle. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us today, and I do, before you go, want to tell everyone to follow the North Peace Pride Society on Facebook. You can find more information about the car parade and where to go and what to do there should you want it. Lyle, thank you so much for taking some time to chat with us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and I have to say I really love your button there. I heard that the library is doing a great promotion there for Pride Month, and I can't wait to swing by there myself. I just actually want to really thank you folks over at Moose FM and Energetic City, because I just want to say that Marnie thanked and was really touched by the incredible article that Trey wrote about her. She said it was probably one of the best articles that she has had written about her. So I just want to thank you for your support, and you folks are awesome, and I hope to see you all out tomorrow.
Excellent. I'm certainly looking forward to it, to be there with my family, and I know a lot of us here are planning on going. So, Lyle, thank you so much, and on behalf of Moose FM, thank you for those kind words. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. That's Lyle Goldie with the North Peace Pride Society. We'll be right back to wrap things up on Moose Talks right after this.
Big money, big money!
The Neat Bingo Extravaganza is on Tuesday, June 8th at 7 p.m. On the Sky Blue card, you could win up to $600 with any one line, $1,000 with two lines, $1,600 with a large square, and a blackout jackpot of $2,000. Bingo cards are $5 each and available at Fireweed Market, Gateway Esso, Taylor Inn Liquor Store, and at neat.ca. The Neat Bingo Extravaganza, Tuesday, June 8th at 7 p.m.
BC Gaming Event License number 126599. Know your limit, play within it. 18 plus. Please note that bingo is only available on Facebook at Moose FM and at Energetic City. If you're looking for hassle-free internet services, call the Peace Region Internet Society today. With coverage throughout most of the Peace, PRIS can get you connected quickly without the hassle of contracts or bundles. Visit PRIS.ca or call 1-800-768-3311 for more information.
Our community first. This is Moose Talks with Dub Craig on Moose FM.
Thank you again to our guests, Ovvian Castrillo-Hill and Lyle Goldie, for joining us today. Well, tonight at 7 o'clock, a vigil for the 215 children is being held at 100th Avenue and 100th Street. The vigil is for the 215 children who never made it home from the Kamloops Residential School and for all the children who didn't make it home from residential schools across the country. Everyone is welcome, and you're invited to wear your orange shirts and ribbon skirts. And they, of course, will be observing all COVID protocols, which requires face masks and social distancing. If you or someone you know requires support, please reach out to the Indian Residential School Survivor Society support line at 1-800-721-0066. Again, that vigil tonight at 7 o'clock at 100th Ave and 100th Street. That does it for this episode of Moose Talks. Moose Talks is produced by Trey Lopashinsky and Adam Rayburn. I'm Dub Craig. Be well.
Join us next Friday at 10 a.m. for another episode of Moose Talks, a weekly talk show about Fort St. John and the North Peace.
This is Moose.